Oh shit, scared me. Hello, hello. Okay, sorry. My day's going well. My day's going well. Um, I was just gonna do my skincare. I was gonna do my skincare and chat for a little bit. I did my hair already, Obvi. I'm just gonna let it air dry a little bit more because I don't feel like sitting there and tending it to it today. Um, my throat still hurts really bad, so I'm like trying really not to smoke, but I know I'm gonna smoke later, so that's where I'm like, I don't know. But I haven't been smoking, but like today I haven't been smoking by myself. Yesterday was like the first day that I smoked by myself in like a couple days. So I really only have been smoking with other people right now. But yeah, I'm just like trying to let all that go away and then like I can smoke again. Um, I've also been drinking like the Mullein teas. So as though that like helps me get all the mucus and shit out, it still makes me like super nauseous, and I feel like those always affect my appetite. So that's why it's like right now I'm like trying to find the balance again. Ooh, where am I going? I'm going to a couple different places. Um, I'm gonna do something with my friend. We're gonna go to like a little day party thing, just real fast. Like not, we're just basically gonna check in, basically. Day party thing for Juneteenth. I do want to stop by a flower shop too that just opened by my house. And then I have other plans. LA, no, I'm in the Bay Area. Sorry, y'all. I was texting Nathan about some shit, and he's like responding to me now, so that's why I'm like reading a little bit of it. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. Literally, like I said, I just want to make sure like everything's good, because when I tell you like it felt like my throat was burned, it felt like it was like fully burned. So like that's why like it hurt, and then it was like dry. And then at first I thought, maybe I'm like sick, but then I was like, no, because like my body doesn't feel bad, my nose isn't stuffy. And I started drinking the Mullein, and now it just feels like I have mucus that like won't drain fully, and then my throat hurts, but it doesn't like, it's not still in like hella pain. So like I said, I think it's taking longer to get better because I have still been smoking, so I know that myself. But like I said, I've only been really smoking with other people. Yesterday was the first day that I did it, and then today I woke up and I was like, yeah, bitch, dumb decision, you shouldn't have done that. Like, why'd you do that? Dun, dun, dun. It's definitely not. Hello, how are you? Oh my gosh, I totally forgot to text John. Goodies is crazy. Okay, let me actually get started on the skincare for sure, for sure. I really need to. Dun, dun. Sorry. Period. I just seen it. Hello, John. Let me just send this and then we'll be good. Okay. Okay. Sorry. I like how you guys are literally just sitting here watching me type. That's crazy. But, uh, mm, dun. Now I'm reading a response. Like I said, just let me get this sent and read the response and we're good. Dun. Sorry, y'all. Let's just fucking start. Oh my fuck. There's a lot going on. There's a lot going on. Just bear with me. Dun, dun. Okay. 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 Settled. 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 We got it all settled. Now we can actually get into the full skincare element. There's just been a fucking lot, I feel like, recently. And it's like, I am still good. I am still happy. I still have a lot that, you know, I'm working on all those things. Like, it's not like extra like negatives and shit. I just feel like there's been a lot when it comes to como se dice, let's say emotional growth. And when I say that, I think it's, I have been put in many, not many, I've been put in a couple situations that like test that for me. And I think for the most part, I've done like a good job because I'm not really someone, I'm someone who will definitely apologize like if I feel like my actions are wrong, or I'm definitely someone who will sit with my own feelings if I feel like I need to process shit. And so like I think with the combination of actively doing like a lot of personal work and like sitting with myself the past few days, being met with like an interaction, where there's a disregard in my perspective. I'm gonna say it this way, in my perspective, where there's a disregard for me, I feel like it really brought out a part of me that was like, you guys really don't give two fucks to hear me. You know what I mean? So I think like it took me back to a place. It took me back to a spot of like feeling like I was young and trying to like have my voice be heard. And I don't that's why I say I don't really think of it like super bad or anything, but I don't think there's ever a thing of thinking too much about life. Life is the one constant that you have until it's gone, so it's always good to be thinking about what's going on in your life, what's going on in your head, what's going on around you. So I don't think that's possible. Dun, dun. Oh my gosh. This definitely picked up like no fucking product. Holy shit. Ow. It literally looks like product is in here. And then I go to put it on and it's like not. Oh my gosh, y'all. And then today, like, my body's just not feeling it. But I still went to the gym. I still got my shit done. So, like, that's why I keep telling myself, like, girl, even though you're not feeling it, like, you're still going about your day. You're still doing everything. And like I said, me not feeling it isn't even just like, that's not a mental thing. It's literally my body. But then I went and checked my app, and it's because where I'm at in my cycle right now. It literally, my message today was, your body feels like a beanbag. And I was like, okay, so I know I'm not tripping. So I know like it's where I'm at in my cycle. It's not anything too crazy. Dun, dun. Get hair like mine. Well, I just use a diffuser and some different curly hair products, and I also get a curly cut when I get my hair cut. So I don't just go to anybody when I get my hair cut, because not everybody knows how to cut curly hair. So yeah, I would highly suggest thinking about a curly cut if you have longer hair. Even if you don't have longer hair, I feel like you could still get one, but do you know? I don't really know if I like this eye cream yet. I like the way it feels, but I don't know if it does anything for me, to be honest. So pretty. Thanks. Your skin's so pretty, thank you. My job isn't to be on here and educate people. This isn't even my fucking job. This is a channel that I made for myself, and people who like to gravitate towards it can. That's why I always say my content isn't for you guys, it's for me. But the people who enjoy it, they enjoy it. I have other shit that makes me money in my life. I don't need money through YouTube. So with that being said, if you don't have a good time here, you don't have to stay. It's called free will. If you have a good time, feel free to stay. You're always welcome. But yeah, I'm not here to please any of you guys, in all honesty. Like I said, I have been live streaming since I first started my channel, and there used to be 1 or 2 people in here, and I'd still sit on live for the same amount of time doing the same shit that I do now. Now it's just, since I made more videos and I started doing more things, there's more people that are attracted to it and end up coming here. So for me, that's just the way I keep it. It's something that I've always enjoyed doing, and I like doing it, so I'm gonna keep doing it. And yeah. This one my mom got me. It's one for protection. And then this one is a hummingbird that I got in Mexico. I really love hummingbirds, but hummingbirds always remind me of my aunt as well, who passed when I was pretty young. She loved birds. She always had parakeets. We would always go feed the birds, and a hummingbird was her favorite bird. It's my favorite bird too, so I keep these. This chain was given to me by a friend in high school. This one was my grandfather's cross, and my grandparents both were pastors. And my grandpa wore this all the time. So after he passed, I asked my grandma if I could have it. So what are you drinking? I'm drinking an Olipop. I always say to know me is to know an Olipop because I swear I love these bitches so fucking much. Olipops are so good. What else? I just did eye cream, did the thing. Now we're just gonna do some moisturizer. I don't know where my sunscreens are today, so don't listen to me today, but I'm not putting on sunscreen just because I don't feel like looking for them. But please always, always, always put on sunscreen. Ooh. Okay. I don't even remember what else I was gonna do at this point. I feel like there's one more thing that I was gonna grab for my skincare that I was gonna do. But I did everything. I think it's because I'm missing the sunscreen. So in my head, it's like I know I usually always put on my fucking sunscreen. So, which genuinely, y'all, put on fucking sunscreen. Like, if there's one thing I could teach you after going to esthetician school and everything, put on fucking sunscreen. Like, even if you don't use a moisturizer, even if you don't use anything else in skincare, like, it's gonna save your fucking skin in the future. Oh my gosh. The reason why people don't realize why they age so badly so fast is because they don't wear sunscreen, and they start to do it way later after they already have sunspots and wrinkles and dry skin and whatever. So don't do that. Don't be one of those people. Don't wait hella long to start wearing sunscreen. It's not gonna hurt you. It's gonna be better for you. It's literally one step. And that's all you have to do. How long is my skincare routine? Not that long. I use a toner, a skin essence, a serum, an eye cream, a moisturizer, and a sunscreen. That is a very average full skincare routine. There are shortened versions of skincare routines. Your most average thing that you'll probably see is a cleanser, a moisturizer, and hopefully sunscreen. Some people just cleanse and moisturize, but like I said, always throw in a third, always throw in a sunscreen. When you start adding toners, skin essences, and serums, that is to target specific problems. Toners and essences help your product absorb in your face a bit better, helps activate the ingredients a bit more, helps it last and with your skin barrier a lot more. So you can not do all those things, but it definitely enhances the routine. So it's a good thing. Like I said, I've been drinking the Mullen tea and I feel like mucus is sitting, but it hasn't been draining. So I think if I drink one more tea today, it will probably help, but it just gets annoying. I just finished doing my skincare and I looked down at my phone for 1 second. Back, sorry, the boss was like, no worries, John. You're all good. We literally just finished doing my skincare. Now, I already did my lotions. I already did my hair. Well, I'm letting my hair sit in clips right now while it's like also extra drying extra that way. Excuse me. That way it gives me more volume on the top of my hair. But also, John, I think I let you know. I think I might have told you this, or I think I might have told you I was working on it. But yesterday, I ended up reworking my chapter that I was working on. I say chapter 3, but technically it's like chapter 2 because I don't think I'm gonna count the preface as a chapter. And I think I'm just gonna do my preface, my chapter 1, my chapter 2, a chapter 3, a chapter 4, and then a close. So that's what I think I might do. But I finished my chapter 2 writing. And what I love about this is I had wrote that chapter and thought it was done, and then I reread it and I just was like, you know what, this doesn't even feel fully like me. Like, I feel like the first chapter when I wrote it, after coming back to it and reading it, I was just like, I feel like I made it too much about him still, without making it more about myself again. So that's why I'm like, ugh. So I was gonna say if you, but so that's why like I rewrote it, and when I reworked it and rewrote it and then I read it again, I was like, oh shit, like I actually like this. So John, if you want to hear it, I will literally read it. I know there's way other people in the chat, but like John was here for like from the beginning too, and I don't care if like the rest of the chat hears it too, but that's the only reason why I'm speaking to John right now and not the rest of y'all. But y'all, if you guys want to hear it too, totally just let me know. um but yeah, so um I can read it, either the chapter by itself, like solely the chapter by itself, or I could read it all together, like all 3 chapters, or all 2 chapters, or the preface and the 2 chapters. I'm down. Larry, hello. I think you were here when I did read the second, or my first one with Jax, right? Yeah, good shit, John, real. I'm down, real. Okay, so do you want me to read everything together so you get like full impact, or do we just want the chapter read of chapter 2, 3? Do I like country music? I don't care. I mean, I don't dislike country music, but I don't think it's like my top genre. So that's why I say I don't really mind it. Like if someone's playing it, I won't ask someone to turn it off, but and where you find some on my playlist, yeah, on like the ones that are definitely a variety. So this is pretending to be interested because you're beautiful. Well, regardless, you're staying here. Thank you. But let me catch some of y'all up to speed. What I'm talking about in reference to chapters is I am writing a short book, and when I say a short book, I do mean a short book. It is basically like my goodbyes on my feelings and things that people have put me through and whatever. And it's a collection mainly looking at the men who have affected my life and like got me to like a place where I am today, and not for like good reasons. But and it's also not meant to be in the perspective of like this is me trying to say like I overcame what you did and I'm stronger. It's me trying to take my experiences, take my growth and everything that came from these things, pack it up and seal that chapter, because I am working on something that is so much bigger than me even, and something that I'm really passionate about and something that I'm putting my shit into. So I want to be able to close that chapter of my life with those people and those things, because these aren't just like light-hearted stories, like they're heavier shit, heavier themes. So I want to be able to just get that all out, and you can hear it in when I write, but I have often protected a lot of men in my life. Even though I've said my pieces and said little things, there's still, I never said everything, or I never did a lot, or I did a lot of things to make sure they didn't look or feel like bad people, and I would validate that in them um, without them deserving that, to be honest. So um, yeah, so that's basically what I'm writing it about, to close it and be able to push it to the side. I hope after you do it. Wait, what? Online like button. Okay. Wait, John, I'm so sorry. Did you answer? Should we read the whole thing? Or should we do oh wait, you said yes, full impact. Okay. Sorry. Okay. So we're just gonna start. And like I said, I'm gonna go into a preface. I'm gonna start reading it. I also have been working with names, like a title name, and one that I'm liking right now for a title is The Soil Was Never Soft. So I think that's gonna be, as of right now, that's my working title, is The Soil Was Never Soft. New listeners can hear it. Okay, awesome. So, like I said, if I take some pauses or I need to take a breath or if I fuck up on reading, I'm sorry. Like I said, this taps into real experiences, real emotions, real things, real themes. Yeah. It's nothing, personally, I don't want to say all that and then be like too dramatic, because like I said, I'm still having this like imposter syndrome where I feel like my writing isn't that good. So if it's ass, sorry, but if it's something that you guys like and something that you want me to keep reading, just let me know. Also, I'm gonna put this up. I'm gonna read the whole thing, because like I said, it's not too bad. It's 12 pages, but when I'm reading it, I feel like it's different. It doesn't feel like 12 pages because you guys aren't the ones sitting there having to like flip through 12 pages. Okay. But like I said, my working title right now is The Soil Was Never Soft. And so, yeah, I took a shower like an hour and a half ago. Okay. So here's I put it as chapter 1, but it's mainly the preface, okay? This isn't a collection of heartbreak stories, it's a reckoning. A reckoning with parts of me I silenced to protect someone else's comfort. A reckoning with how I've been loved and how I've been hurt. A reckoning with the ways abandonment disguised itself as normal. A reckoning with how many times I confused silence for strength. For a long time, I didn't tell my story because I didn't want to be seen as angry, as bitter, as broken. I used to be reactive, quick to lash out, quick to try and match pain with pain, but I've grown past that version of myself. And somewhere along the way, I started equating healing with silence. Started thinking that I couldn't be angry and wise at the same time. Couldn't be hurt and still whole. Couldn't speak about my pain without sounding like a child still trapped inside of it. But I've learned that rage can be sacred, that grief doesn't mean I'm unwell, that telling the truth unfiltered and without apology is not the same as being cruel. I don't write these chapters to prove how strong I am. I write them because I'm finally safe enough to say what I really feel. So if you see yourself in these pages, in the best ways or worst, sit with that, because I sat with it first. My chapter 2, The Wound That Raised Me. This is where it started, the silence, the self-blame, the fear of being too much, the habit of protecting men from the weight of my pain while they added more to it. You were the first man to teach me that love comes with conditions, that I could only be cared for in pieces as long as I didn't make it uncomfortable, as long as I stayed impressive, as long as I didn't need too much. I used to tell people, I love my dad, but I don't like him. But I think it's more honest to say, I love the idea of you. The father I built in my mind, the one I wanted to exist so badly that I held back my anger, swallowed my truths, and became careful with my words. Not because I was weak, but because I never wanted to be seen as that angry little girl again. I spent years trying to protect you from my pain, but that version of me doesn't live here anymore. Because when I needed my father the most, you weren't just disappointing, you were devastating. I was carrying a life I didn't expect and standing at a crossroads that shook everything I believed about who I was, what I wanted, and what I could handle. I was scared, trying to navigate it all, and the person I reached out to was you. Not because you had earned that call, but because I was still holding on to hope that you might show up for me when it truly mattered. I thought maybe, just maybe, the man I needed would answer. But instead of comfort, I got cruelty. Instead of safety, I got shame. You didn't ask if I was okay. You didn't ask what I needed. You didn't offer warmth or reassurance. You just reminded me that I wasn't grown enough, that I was ruining my life, that everything good you saw in me was fading. You looked at me like your brightest star had gone dim, and I knew in that moment that my pain was just an inconvenience to you. You didn't see me, you saw disappointment, an interruption to your fantasy of who I was supposed to be. I knew how to talk to you, I've known for years. I learned how to walk on eggshells, how to avoid setting you off, how to script my feelings just right to get the most rational version of you I could pull out. But that's not connection, that's survival. When I told you I was pregnant, I made sure to position it like you were the first to know, even though you weren't. I gave you that illusion because I thought it would make you feel important. I thought it would help you listen, but it didn't. Nothing ever really does. You only hear what fits the image of the man that you want to be. I went through one of the darkest and most isolating seasons of my life, and you didn't even know, because I never felt safe enough to tell you. The abuse, the loss, the fear, you knew none of it, and you didn't ask. And what hurt even more than the silence was how after I told you I miscarried, you vanished, said nothing, did nothing. Then weeks later, you called like you were picking up a normal conversation, like I hadn't just bled alone while you chose silence. That moment changed everything. It was the moment I stopped protecting you, the moment I stopped softening the truth for your comfort, because I realized there was nothing left to guard. You had already left me to carry it all alone. When I came home from that dinner after you shamed me and called it concern, I broke down in my mom's arms. I told her everything and she listened. I told her I had been wondering for years whether you ever truly wanted kids, whether it was ever about love or if it was just about image, marriage, a house, a family, the illusion of legacy. And she looked at me and said, "You know, Ise, I think you might be right. I don't think your dad ever really wanted kids." And that broke something in me. But that validation meant more to me than anything you've ever said. Because you've always been good at building your image, a successful man, a charming man, a father people admire from afar. What they don't see is how hollow that title becomes when it's not backed by presence, when it's not anchored in love. What they don't see is what it costs your children to be your props. What they don't know is what it's like to have 5 kids and speak to none of them. I think that's the part that broke me the most. Not just how you treated me, but how you treated my brothers. The disregard, the absence, the lies. I remember telling you one of them was struggling and giving you a blueprint on how to show up. You said the right things, made the right promises, told me you wanted to start repairing things, and you even asked which kid to begin with. And then you did nothing. I carried that disappointment with me. I carried their pain too. And even though I admire how they were able to detach, how they were able to walk away, it's always been harder for me. I'm the youngest, the only girl. The one who stayed, the one who kept hope, the one who gave you chance after chance, even when the silence kept getting louder. I've learned that silence can be a teacher too, and your silence taught me this. I was never safe with you. You were a gamble I kept losing, a wound I kept hoping would turn into a scar, but now I know better. You weren't just the first man to let me down, you were the blueprint. And no matter how much I want to believe you changed, I won't abandon myself for that hope again. Because while you were busy trying to look like a good man, I was busy surviving the damage you left behind. That's what separates us. You chase praise, I chase peace. You built a legacy to be admired by strangers. I've been building a life I can survive inside. And no matter how loud the world claps for you, I'll spend the rest of my life becoming everything you never were, because the only thing I've ever been sure of is that I never want to become you. My chapter 3, The Rock in My Pocket. This one isn't for you. It's for the version of me I left behind in that bedroom on a random Wednesday. The girl who walked in with hope and walked out with nothing but questions. The girl who spent 3.5 years loving you like a future she was building. The girl who kept waiting to be chosen even after she watched you walk away. This is grief. The kind that doesn't show up in loud sobs, but in quiet ache of an unsteady step. It was the rock in my pocket. Something I thought I could carry alone, silently, proudly, painfully. But it made me walk uneven, and even after the pain subsided, the limp stayed. Grief taught me that sometimes heartbreak doesn't break you. It bruises you in places no one can see, until you look up one day and realize you haven't been standing straight since. And the worst part is that you did this without flinching. You walked out on a random Wednesday. No warning, no decency. We had just spent the day before talking about the future. I had just come back from a date with my cousin raving about how much I loved you, how even when you weren't perfect, I saw you try, and I appreciated the trying. Then I walked into our space and you couldn't even look at me in the eye. You showered with me, touched me, let me speak to you like everything was normal, and all while you had already made the decision to leave. That's the kind of betrayal that gets a person, not just because you left, but because of how you left. You didn't fall out of love with me. You just didn't have the courage to be honest, even when I begged you. Gently, loving, over and over, tell me the truth. I asked the hard questions. I checked in. I gave space. You didn't have the strength to tell me you were already 1 foot out the door. You just waited for me to figure it out. And when I did, you were already at a motel, already at a club, already searching for honey packs. You called it working on some things. I called it abandonment. And even that word doesn't feel big enough. There were times I wanted to leave, times I screamed loud enough to scare myself because the little girl inside of me was yelling for someone to love her back the way she gave it. But I still stayed. I gave you every chance to meet me halfway, and every time you chose not to, I protected you. I tried to become small enough for you to stay, and I hate how long I confused that with love. When I think about you now, it's not with nostalgia. It's not with hatred either. It's with grief. Because grief isn't just reserved for the dead, it's for the living too. It's for the man I thought you were, for the future I thought we were building, for the woman I used to be when I loved you. And while I could never be in love with someone like you again, there is still a small voice inside of me that whispers, "You're not evil, you're just unhealed." A growing boy with a child's wound who knows where the key is but refuses to unlock the door. I carry that grief, not because I still want you, but because for a long time I believed that I didn't deserve better. That's what you left me with. And maybe I didn't fully start healing from this until I made a few mistakes after you, but I'll save that for the next chapter. You'll look for me in every woman you meet, but you'll never find me again, because now I know who I am, and so do the people that matter. One of them looked me in the eyes and said, "You were the health of that relationship." Another told me, "If you were ever not in my life, I know it'd be because I did something wrong." They loved you once. My friends all did. Now they hate what you did. And the version of me that once defended you is long gone. I let them hate you for me. They reminded me I didn't lose anything. I have loved you in ways that felt like instinct, but now I love myself louder. I know I am one of one. I know I'm not someone you get over, I'm someone you feel the loss of. Every day you continue to run from the man that you claim you want to be. And here's the part you'll never understand. You didn't get a woman who settled. You got a woman who wanted more for you than you were willing to want for yourself, and that terrified you. You said you wanted more, but you were surrounded by people who settled, and you didn't have the strength to break that cycle. You'll find someone who is familiar. Your mother, your sisters, your whole household. They taught you that being needed was the same as being loved. They believed not to expect much from a man and even less from yourself, and I saw it. I saw the little boy in you, the one who wanted to help, who was praised for carrying burdens. I watched you be the backbone of your household even when it cracked you in half, and I tried to show you a different kind of love. One that doesn't come from guilt or pressure, one that is chosen, not forced. But I can never be like the woman who raised you. I remember going on that camping trip with your family when your little brother hit your girl cousins and the girls were targeted for snitching. I remember hearing the women in your family talk down on those same girls for being loved. I remember your mother saying their parents are setting them up for failure because no man is ever going to love them like that. And that's when I knew. You weren't raised to expect more. You were raised to settle, and I never will. That's why it was never just about us. I wasn't just fighting for our relationship. I was fighting against generations of silence, generations of women who made themselves small, generations of men who never broke the cycle. I couldn't carry that weight for the both of us anymore. I don't need closure. I've closed that door myself, and this is me locking it. This is me healing. Not for you, not in spite of you, but because I deserve to walk evenly again without the weight of your betrayal in my pocket. Boom. And that was the end of my chapters. Dun, 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 dun. Dun, dun. Sorry, y'all. I know you guys were typing, but of course. Bum, bum. Bruh. Who the fuck is calling me? But yeah, that's basically it. That's a true story. Yeah, that's a true story. All of this is true story. Hey.
Did you ever ask Sarah about the truck?
Yeah. She said that they cleaned out their attic, so they had stuff in it still, and they had to drop it off at a junkyard.
So, and she's gone this weekend?
Well, she's gonna be gone this weekend.
But will her dad let her use it eventually?
I don't know. She said she can ask. She just told me that she had dumped the stuff out. That's all the conversation was.
Okay.
Yeah. Sorry. Yeah, but true story. Oh my god, that was sick. Thanks. Appreciate that. Pretty intense story. Very good. Thank you. Yeah. And then like I said, I wanted, like, that chapter I had to rewrite it because when I first wrote it, I feel like it was too much about him and his lack of being able to grow. And like I said, like I made the metaphor of like he has the key. He has the key to face everything that he needs to face to be better. Um, in ways that, you know, it wasn't even just for me. Like it genuinely, when I say like I wanted him to grow and move past things, it was because I don't ever like to see anybody in my life tied up with trauma, familial trauma, trauma through friendships, and no matter what it is, like I don't like them see them tied up in it. So yes, I push my friends to face those things, but in their own ways. But when I tell you that he avoided it in every way possible, it got to a point where it did affect me. I just wasn't strong enough to leave. So that's why at the end of the day, like in this, like that's why I made it like that's why I put it in there too. Although like I know I could never be with someone like him again. Although I know I can never like fall in love with someone like that again. It wasn't about them. Like, you know what I mean? It's more about like myself. So that's, and it's like saying goodbye. Don't I also have the same key? No, I don't have the same key because that's his trauma, not my trauma. I can't tap into his mental. I can't have him sit with himself. You know, that's something everyone who has experienced some level of trauma, especially familial trauma, um, you have to do that work. Not everyone has a key to that door. So, Ree, I didn't even see you in here. Oh my gosh, I hope you have a great day. But yeah, I do have a McLovin shirt. I do. Um, yeah. Yeah. Oh, period. I love Superbad. Superbad's hella funny. Finally. Okay. I just need. Dun, dun. You don't have to ask John if you can ask me a question. You guys can just ask me questions. It's just that they're inappropriate questions or like shit that like shouldn't really be on here. That's when John, you know, that's when John takes them off. He doesn't just, he's not like monitoring what you guys can and can't say unless it's annoying or something that's like stupid. You know what I mean? Do I go live every day? I try to go live as much as possible. At least once a day is like my goal. But my biggest fear, I don't know. I don't know what my biggest fear is, to be honest. Yeah, exactly. That's what I mean. Is like if you're, so that's what I mean is if you're gonna ask a question, you can ask it. But if you're having to ask, maybe don't ask that question. Just understand that John, what he does is take away inappropriate comments. Thank you, censoring it. Dun, dun. Nope. I have not lost my connection with God. Do I explain what I said? Hey, I know that you guys sometimes make jokes, but you have to understand my mods do not play about me. if we're talking, especially I think in like vulnerable places, and you make certain jokes, like remember that tone can't always be carried through words. So as much as I'm sorry that that happened, also understand that they're trying to do their job too. Um, and sometimes it's hard to convey a joke through a comment. But sorry. You beautiful, thank you. Is that my biggest fear? Is what my biggest fear? Because I don't know my biggest fear. I don't know what, and I don't know what you're referring to. My star sign. I'm an Aries sun, Scorpio moon, Aries rising. Nobody's asking you guys to send me money. You don't tolerate disrespect or stupid shit. Yeah, exactly. So I mean, my mods just, it's really not too complex in how my mods are. My mods are great mods. They all do a fantastic job. Would never complain. Um, sorry. Um, sorry. Um, what? Wait, what's going on? I'm so confused. I don't know. I guess YouTube don't like you. No, I don't know Spanish. You saying you're lost? I'm lost. I'm confused. Cal State almost killed you. What university? What are you confused about? I don't know. I just see my mods talking different things in chat and I am lost. Yeah. Dun, dun. I see. What? Where are you from? I'm from the Bay Area, California. No, I'm not taking applications for a new boyfriend. I don't want a boyfriend. If you haven't learned anything from my book, if you learn one thing from my book, it's to realize that I just don't have the energy to deal with an unhealed man. And most men that come my way don't do the work of fixing their shit. So me personally, I know I don't need to deal with that. So why would I want to deal with that? I'm not gonna deal with that because I have other things that I want to work on in my life, other things I want to do. And to be honest, most of the men I meet are just very lustful. And again, I don't need that. So I'm very, honestly, when people say, when you're not worrying about a fuck ass man, your life is so much better. It is so much better. So, I don't know if it's right now. No, for real. Like, chat just is going crazy. Open minded. I like that. Thank you. I'm not saying good men don't exist. It's just, why would I actively go out there and look for a good man when I know that I can continue to be a great woman on my own without one? If I find a man that fits with me and fits in my lifestyle and fits with what I'm working towards, then I won't turn that away. Why would I? That'd be stupid. But I would never look. You should not have to write my own funny. Exactly, that's my point. I'm not gonna look. So when I got asked if I'm looking for a boyfriend, I'm not looking. What are you working towards? I currently have a job. So I have a part-time job that's making me money on the side. I finished esthetician school. I'm gonna take my state board license soon. And then I am working on building a business on the back end. That's been in the works for a little bit, getting all that together. And I'm looking at that in longevity. And so as I step into that project, like I said, I'm very passionate about it. I wanted to write a book to close that chapter of my life and release it. So I have a lot working. I have a lot working. So yeah, I already got my degree. I already did, you know. I'm one of those people that I have goals for myself, and I have things that are non-negotiables and things that are newly added to the list, things that are taken off a list. So we work with it. All the best. It's a lot. Thank you. But yeah. I don't know. I think I might get food and then stop at the flower shop, because there's a new flower shop right by my house. And I wanted to go, and I was just gonna go right now, but honestly, I feel like I want food first. So I gotta think of what to eat, and then I'll go to the flower shop on the way back home. Degree in what? Public relations. Eat some food, girl. I know. I just need to think of what to eat. My nationality, I'm American. If you're asking about my ethnicity, then I'm African American. Yeah, appreciate the message, Raymond, but you're talking to the wrong one. I'll do shit in spite of people telling me I can't do shit, so. And will continue to. No worries, John. I think I might get off. I'm gonna go grab some food. But good luck with your meeting. But yeah. She's might have to come correct. Yeah. Okay. I will. Public relations is what PR is. But anyway, I'll see you guys later. Love you. Hope you have a great day. Hope you have a good one, guys. Bye.